Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm Christopher Dahl, right here in the basement studios of our command center here in the middle of, I think, nowhere. Looks like we got some good sound. All right, we are set up for a Friday. It looks like we've got a lot of the cool kids here for Friday. This is awesome. Thank you so much for joining, Jean-Marc. Thank you for the vote of encouragement. All the audio issues notwithstanding. Please, everybody, let me know how it sounds this week. I might have identified some of the issues that I was having here. Let me turn my phone volume all the way down so I'm not getting double voices on my side of things. Thank you so much. Rhonda's here. Hello, Rhonda. Thank you for joining and thank you for sticking around. We really appreciate it. Wes and Krista apparently, made some mahi burgers for the grill, ready for the live stream. I will take mine. Thank you. Definitely a bit of clipping. Okay, gotcha. I will. Boom. All right, too loud, right? Okay, cool. Here, let me just, I also have a fan running, so let me turn that off. I forgot to turn that off. Let's just get this set. Boom, professional live stream. All right. So I'll make sure that that's not it. A bit of clipping. Hold tight. Output. There we go. Okay. Just as I hear it. Oh God. Okay. One thing. Okay, I think I got it. Ooh, there we go. All right. I'm definitely encountering USB issues. That was one. The second, which I corrected, I have power issues. I was using the same plug that I'd used for everything for the longest time now, and it was an old plug. I didn't even think about it. When I thought about actually how long ago I bought that thing, it was probably about 2005. So anyway, I took care of that, and that corrected some problems. A little echoey, yeah. I think it's going to be echoey though, Rhonda, because of where I'm sitting. So, I'm gonna have to correct the echo by padding the walls around me. When I started our live stream in the studio, I was kind of sitting, uh, roughly where this chair is over here, and that corner is like really dead for audio. Yeah, thank you. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely some issues with my setup, and it may not be anything I can correct until I can get a new system because. Basically, I'm using a laptop, right? Which is fine. It's a powerful laptop. I'm very happy with the laptop. But the problem inherent with laptops is that you have only a couple of ports that you can plug your devices into, which means you have to use a brick that has USB ports in it that you then plug into the laptop. Okay, so that naturally causes issues on its own. And then, yeah, a little good slapback delay. There we go. So anyway, that already introduces issues. And if those bricks that you're attaching your stuff to are even remotely garbage in any way whatsoever, you're going to have the issues I'm having right here. So the problem is I'm plugging in things like, well, my audio, my microphone, the camera, which is right above me, the camera that we're looking at. So that's already like what? That's three things that take a lot of not just power in the form of electricity, but it also means it has to juggle a lot of data. Which is also one of the reasons why I couldn't plug in my third camera for the for my paint palette down here. Anyway, enough about that. So I thought I had it settled. OBS, the software that I use to run all of this, seems to have other ideas. The delay really changed. It's not the room; it's a feedback loop. Oh, okay. Hang tight. Let me see here. Let me make sure nothing else is working against me. Boom. There we go. All right, let's see. That was one. I don't hear the delay. Shit. Okay, hold on. Da, 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 da. Hang on a moment, folks. Oh my God. Welcome to Friday troubleshooting my shit. Hang on a second. Here, let me give you my art view. There we go. Okay. What's fighting? Any other? Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I can't hear what this is. Hang on. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I guess I just have to listen to it on my phone while I do this. Holy crap. This is really annoying. Am I even on now? No. Okay, gotcha. Right. All right. It's there. Wow. Echo. Okay, one more thing. Well, you don't get the relay, more stereo. Is my phone mic on too? Well, my phone mic might be on, but it's not connected to anything really. I just have it plugged in for power right now. Okay, hold on. Let me turn this back down. There we go. So I have a microphone on the camera above me, but it is inactive. Actually, that one might not be. Hold on a sec. All right. Let's just see if. Oh, this is so annoying because I can't hear this until I'm actually live streaming. So we will actually get to the art. Audio. How about just turn the audio off, right? How about I just want to do that? Da, 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 da. Okay. So I just here. Let me put me back on here. Hey, everybody! Greetings. Let me just do that. Okay. All right. Let me hear if that did it. Hold on a sec here. All right. Da 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 da. Well, I guess maybe I'm just gonna. I don't know what to do. This is so annoying. I don't. Seems the same here. Yeah, me too. Right. Good Lord. Well, that's annoying as all get out. Ah, I I'm gonna Google like what's my echo in OBS, and we'll just kind of go from there, right? We don't mind. I'm waiting for him to say, "Are you ready to rumble?" All right, I'm gonna kick off some music. Hold tight. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Are you all right? Let's just get into. Let me check one other thing. Desktop audio. Huh. All right, here we go. Okay, I, Jesus. Here, I thought I had, yeah, great. I thought I had all this ready. Great. Oh well. Um, yeah. So we went from clipping to silent. Well, it went from clipping to echo to silent. That's actually better. Woohoo! You know, it was the music, right? Oh my God, hang tight here. Oh, jeez. Why is that not? Oh man. Yeah. All right. Nope. Did not lose my voice. Sounds perfect now. So yeah, there was a software update to the software that I use, OBS, and it's acting a little weird. So yeah, there we go. I keep switching glasses because I own two prescriptions basically. So bear with me. But thank you everyone. Hey Edward, you missed nothing. Trust me. That sounds perfect now. Hey David, how you doing? Greetings. Hello. Yeah, you missed nothing. Just me farting around with my sound again. But you know, that is what we all come to know and love. Space Art by Christopher Dahl, Friday afternoon. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you everyone for your patience and helping me through it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're just in time. I might actually get to painting something. Holy crap. Yeah, so I have another suspicious USB block, but it's possible I'm putting them through so much so much effort that I'm burning through them in some way. So anyhow, yeah, that's the best part. Awesome. Great. Anyhow, oh cool. Thank you so much, Rhonda. You are number one. That's awesome. Oh man. Oh, did it not continue? Of course not. Wait, hold on. There it is. Okay, cool. Yeah, music. What a week. What a couple of weeks. Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you so much for. I know I've missed a couple of weeks. Last weekend, I actually ended up in Jersey City, which is where one of our daughters lives, and that was cool. That was actually really that was a lot of fun. It was kind of last minute. She needed a ride back. The Echo is back now. What? The echo is back when the music is stopped. Oh, that's F up. Okay, that must mean that I've got one other microphone turned on. All right, hang on. Hold on a moment. I think I know which microphone it is. How do I control it? I thank you. Hey, thank you, Edward. Greetings. Let's see. Bluetooth and devices. Audio devices. Ow. Input. Audio. Hold. Should get freaky. Yeah, seriously, right? Oh my god. Input. All right. What do we have here? My camera. Oh, the mobile device. Yeah, that's really great. Here. Never update your software once you get everything working. Yes, there we go. All right. Okay. All right. Echoes down a bit. Yeah. Every time Chris echoes, yeah, right. Oh my god. Let's see here. This is nuts. I shut down one microphone, but I'm still hearing it. All right, let me try one more thing. Hold tight. I'm checking to see if one of my cameras still has an audio input on it. Okay. Wow, I am truly perplexed. Anyway. It would be, yeah, instead of a top-down camera, have a drone hovering over your head with its camera pointing down. I love that. Yeah, I've gone through it. It's frustrating. You're right. I'll check one more. Let me see.
All right, so I've taken my white.
So further, all of them. Yeah. But the only thing I can really do, unfortunately, is shut it down and restart the whole thing. Don't know if I really want to do that though. Crap. All right. So I'm gonna pause the stream. I'm gonna see if I can restart it. So don't go. I'm not gonna end the stream, but it's gonna go away for a minute. Let me try that. Hang tight. Da, 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 Hey, here we go. All right. Let's see how we do here. Okay. We are back. Let's see. Are we sounding? Still echoey. Woohoo! Oh, that's a cool idea, Wes. Okay, you're right. I'll do that real quick and check in the settings, disable each audio by. Okay, let me just do that real quick. I know where that is. How about now? There we go. Okay. Yeah, I disabled everything except the proper microphone. But, yeah, there's a crazy lag between what I'm recording here and what you guys are seeing. Rhonda says, it's probably the same curse that took my Pringles. That, I believe, honestly. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to proceed. Today is the echoey version. Now, again, some of the echo that I actually hear in my headphones is from the location in the room. So I may have to slightly adjust that. But other than that, no biggie. We'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Are you kidding? Oh my God. Professional live stream. Yes, indeed, folks. Hey, welcome back. Oh, I need a drink. All right. What are we drinking today? Let's see. I've got a cola. It's the beginning of the end of days. Yes. my Pringles, damn it. Sometimes you need a good Pringle. I am not beyond destroying a couple of cylinders of Pringles occasionally. Yes. All right, let's see. Do we still have our art camera going? Yes, we do. We've got our art camera. Woohoo! Art camera. Oh, man. That started back in 2015. Exactly. If everything was perfect, you think I was a bot? Ah. No AI can do what I do. No AI would dare do what I do. The perfection is in the whole experience. Now, thank you for putting it. This might be annoying me. Yeah. So OBS updated, Windows updated. Yeah. Don't use any M dashes, right? Jeez. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So far, I've been able to get through life without using AI in any form or shape. I don't use Chat GTP. I don't use any of the image stuff. I just don't care. I really don't. Maybe it's because I know how to write and I can make images, and I'd rather spend the rest of my time doing both better using my own AI. Thank you very much. Yes. Anyway, so that's me being old. Anyhow, yeah. So none of you dare tell me I need to use AI. I know you would. Oh my gosh. So yes. Well, welcome. I actually AI is banned in your lives. I prefer HI. Me too. Seriously. Yeah. The M dash thing is crazy. You just knew there was going to be some. There are so many of those M dash things in technical writing. There's just things that are very specific to it. So I'm not at all surprised that AI was going to pick up on some of those. That's really hilarious. But yay, there we go. I'm actually very excited about how this has ended up in here, and I don't know if I've explained that enough. I know I've gone through a lot of revisions of this space since we arrived, but oh my gosh, yeah, this one's cool. This one's really fun. I feel like I've actually allocated the task space in a much better fashion. And it's a little junky right now, so if you're looking carefully in the background, it's just stacks of things, but I haven't gone to the last phase of finally reorganizing all of those. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, honestly. The July 4th thing, I thought about maybe coming on really for a quick live stream, but I was outside making shit on the grill. It was great. I forget what we made. It was fun though. And then yeah, last week I thought, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of the situation. We're going to do the drive. We're gonna, and I had a great time with Allison, who was wonderful in hosting me, her poor broke artist dad. So that was that was really cool. We had a great weekend together. I love their new place. So thank you, Allison, for hosting me. Thank you, Max, as well, for putting me up in your space there. That was really cool. Wish I could have seen you a little longer. We'll get to that, but. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around, because I know I haven't been streaming much, which is also the same kind of thing that I've been told by a number of people. I haven't been doing anything. Well, that's what it appears. And I've been like, you know how they say like a duck just kind of floats on the water, but, you know, underneath its feet is... The duck's feet are swimming. Well, I've been like a duck. So, yeah. Anyhow, a lot of things going. I think I've gotten it down to a point where I might be ready to put it. Cutting in and out now? Aha! Awesome! Oh, cool. Cutting in and out. Shit. What the heck? I can't believe this echo. This is so stupid. You're not cutting out. Okay, cool. All right, thank you. Oh man, that echo. Oh, God, what am I doing? Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, I could see you as more goose than duck. Thank you. Appreciate that. Awesome. All right. Um, you know what? I think I might know what might give this a fix. I added an extra cable. Hold tight. All right. We're getting there. All right. He says knowingly. Okay, I'm back there. Let's see. Did that do the thing? Did that do it? It didn't. It did not. I thought maybe I had a bad cable. Nope. All right. Echo it is. Okay. Actually, I could try a different mic. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Let me just do that. Hey, we're all hanging out here, right? I'm going to try the other mic. Boom. All right. Okay. Let's see. Can I? How's that sound? Oh, that's bad. Close. Close. Okay. It's super loud. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how that one turned out. I had it there for a second. Yeah. Boom. What do you think? Better? Then I changed something and it was back. Oh man. Okay. All right. Let's try that one. I keep doing things. Basically, I've got this microphone turned off. But every time I stop talking, I can't hear it. Oh my God, it's still on. I'm only going through this headset mic. Oh, it's hilarious. I do still have music going, yes. It's in the background.
but my voice is so much louder. Oh man. So the fact that it's doing this with two different microphones, I'm gonna go back to my other one because this one actually, even though it's got an echo, try killing the music. Cool. There we go.
Have I tried? All right. Um, yeah. So clearly, it's something that is attached to the system that I don't know. We're gonna go without music. I think the last thing I can turn off is basically music and the what they call desktop audio. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. I'll do the music in the background. Doo doop 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 ba doo 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 doop boop boop. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, yes and no, Wes. The music channel in my setup comes through desktop audio. And desktop audio on your system, it's just your system audio, right? So it could be any number of microphones that I have not shut off, and I have no idea which ones they are. So, in fact, I don't. It's my suspicion is it's the microphone on my laptop that is active, and so you're hearing basically the laptop microphone. I believe I shut it off, but I'm not certain. But for the rest of the afternoon, let's just hang on. We've had 40 minutes of hanging with Chris. Yes, we'll have to do our own damn music. Exactly. If that's the case, I'm not even going to listen to the headphones. I'm not even going to wear these things. Forget it. Look at that. Unsheathed as we are from the curse of headphones forever. Okay, at least for today. Right. Ah. Put the music on, folks. We're gonna have. I had to bring my guitar upstairs too. Sorry, that was ridiculous. We'll just play guitar in here. No, when the humidity dome hit or the heat dome hit and the humidity spiked here, I had to evacuate it. I was like, "There's no way I'm leaving my guitar down here." It was gross, right? I probably have to do a neck adjustment now on that thing. It's crazy. Anyhow, yeah. All right, I'm gonna trust that you'll let me know when the sound goes weird again. Thank you, everybody. Right. Okay. Now, what are we working on? I have no idea. Let's just make sure that it actually works. Here we go. Yeah, my camera lens cap. I should probably put that to the side. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so it's great now. Cool. We are working. This is fun. It's my old drawing table, everybody. Quick, paint something. That's why I might go with the smaller one. So I have my stacks of boards that are prepared for casein. Wait a second. This one's not casein. Hold on a moment. Oh no, this one's actually this one's for oil. I'm gonna put that aside. Yeah, there we go. Lead us in a sing-along, Chris. Oh, you don't want that. It'd be terrible. So, I'm back, and we're gonna keep doing Fridays, everybody. We're gonna keep doing Fridays, and we're gonna have fun with it. Once I clear up the last issues here. Oh my gosh. The power was really a problem though, because it was the thing that kept making my my audio suddenly crackle. Sometimes when it would be going just fine during a live stream, then all of a sudden it would just be like, all of those times, I think my power was fluctuating. And the first thing that hits are your components that are attached and need that power, audio in particular. So hopefully that part's done. This is now just settings, which I swear all had it good. Anyway, enough about that. So the live stream. Yeah, I know I haven't been doing a lot. It's very frustrating. I'm even behind on commissions I should not be behind on right now, which is weighing on me very heavily. In fact, after the live stream, I'm gonna be working on them. Hey, Iridium, greetings. You might not believe it, Iridium, but you got here just before we started anything. It's been a day. Thank you. But yeah, so and for those of you that are following me on Patreon, forgive me. I know it's been very quiet. I've been kind of. It feels like every time I get ahead of something, I just get knocked back a little bit. So this spring and summer, I decided to kind of like go, okay, I need to kind of take a step back. Hey, yeah, it's very good. I know, right? Thanks, Iridium. I need to kind of take a step back and do a sort of a heuristic analysis of my output and my behaviors and sort of how I work, and combine that with the what do I want to work on, and what can I work on that will put me ahead within 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, which is a lot to digest. So there's been a lot of that. And some of that you've seen in the sort of rediscovery of the models that we had a couple of weeks ago. That was really cool, and you know, kind of going down and looking at models. There was an assessment going on of what can I work on that would be fun and engaging for all of you and myself, and that would actually like get to a finished thing. I have a common problem. I often talk about cool projects, which are cool, and I very much want to do them and have the skills to do them, and then it's just like, okay, well, that's another back burner project. So to combat this, I've decided I'm going to attack the whole, you know, doing things approach in a little different fashion. And that's kind of there's a few aspects of it. It always seems like I'm just kind of sitting here. I'm not. In fact, actually, this week there are 2 new YouTube channels that I've opened up. I've got one for the Dollhouse Katina, and I've got one for Forgotten Futures, the podcast I'm starting with our pal here, Andrew, and the I think he's gone by non-uniform in here before. Which so there's a method to my madness. It is and it's laying out. But I wanted to come back to let's just paint some space stuff, and you know, let's make it so that it's a little easier to do these things. So yeah, the rearrangement of the studio, for instance, this is my favorite. This is the way I've wanted to have the paint setup way back when I started doing the live stream with Casein, which is also why I decided today, as our little return, I actually have all of my Casein paints. Woohoo! Yay! I love painting with this stuff. Sorry, I love painting with this stuff, and I just haven't in a while. So these paints aren't doing any painting on their own, so let's bring them back on in, right? Anyhow, that's fun. It was on the agenda to come back to them anyway, but I've had a lot of fun with the commissions that I have. I'm on 2 book covers right now, and let me pop that back. Whoa, that's really being deceptively slow. I've had 2 book covers that I'm working on. I had the sunset painting. I want to thank my brother again for that one. That was very, very cool. And I have another one of the. In fact, yeah, let me go get that. All right. So the commissions have been going on, but also in the midst of all of this, rebuilding again the studio, clearing out the studio because it was filled with humidity and was causing problems with all of the equipment. I still wonder, maybe I still have humidity issues. Maybe it got so damp in here that a lot of this stuff is just, collected things in. But uh this is now this has become the favorite flavor of this drawing table and this drawing setup. This is kind of how I had it set up back home. Why didn't I just do this when I was here? Well, I wanted to try new things in a new space, and there we go. So, very cool. We're gonna have fun. Yes. I might just tackle this one. I mean, I've already killed an hour with audio issues that I still have to resolve. Very crazy. I guess I'm just gonna have to lock down my system a little bit, right? We'll do that afterwards. I'm actually very happy with how the camera's just out of my camera from above, not the drone. We'll get the drone later. That would be funny. Although let's do a demo, right? Wow, why is this thing being so weird? Oh my gosh. So yeah, this would be like what it'd be like if a drone was on here, right? Hey, we got Happy Sex, Happy Place. Hello, greetings. Says I've been painting heavily past 3-4 months. Very cool. It's so liberating. Just some paint, some cheap canvas board, and go for it. Absolutely. Congratulations. It is very liberating. You have to say I'm an inspiration for me to get to it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Happy to have been an inspiration. I'm glad that you took the chance and grab some paint and some canvases. It is. I still am a digital artist. I have worked with digital tools, both 3D and 2D, and I have to say it. Oh, my board! Oh no, my camera! It's doing a thing. Oh no! There we go. I have to say I really enjoyed just kind of getting away from that, and grabbing paints and brushes to me was like, wow, I don't have to screw around with buttons and control. I just want to go. It was really great. So congratulations, really cool. Oh, Rachel Leslie is here. Greetings, Rachel Leslie. Hello, and how is it? Wonderful. You are north of Louisville, right? You're still in Indiana there, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so hope it's going well. Awesome. Yeah, blow drying all your paints at the same time. Yes, exactly. So I drew and sketched a pro standard, but never painted, only recently. Took the plunge. Awesome. Yeah, I was kind of like that too, Happy Sex, Happy Place. I was definitely more drawing, illustration, getting that, kind of bridging into rendering and painting. Yeah, there's little tricks to it, but it's fun when you can preserve kind of the qualities of both, especially with paintings. And a lot of what I try to do is kind of an attempt at that. Rachel asked, "Did I see Strange New Worlds yesterday?" Rhonda saw it. Awesome, very cool. I actually just watched it this morning. I watched it this morning over coffee. I watched both of the episodes. I give it a thumbs up. I have to say, I will. Easy for me to say. Oh my God, Chris likes Star Trek. Hey, breaking news at 11. See, that's where I needed my echo. Yeah, I know it's really good. I really enjoy what they're doing with Strange New Worlds, and I really it's my favorite Star Trek really since the first one. Cool. You're doing your first craft fair in October? Awesome. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, very cool, Rachel. Very cool. I hope you have a great time. I have always enjoyed working craft and baking fairs. Honestly, I gotta be I actually have sold more space art at craft fairs, local craft fairs, than I have at some at some big science fiction conventions. It's awesome. So yeah, have a good time. It's really cool. Never done digital. I can do it, but lose interest fast. Yeah. Oh, I agree. Happy Sex. If you don't need it, yeah, just don't. Do what's working for you, right? That's the way to go. Awesome. Oh, selling earrings. Very, very cool. My camera is like slowly moving. Hang on a second here. Oh, I'm gonna lock it down a bit. There we go. All right, let's just do a little locky locky down. There we are. There. Okay, cool. I kept touching the damn camera. Yeah. Oh, it's kind of it's a good time. Yeah, we did very well with such markets. I mean, yeah, I absolutely love them. I think you'll have fun. Alrighty. So, gosh, that thing's really weird. But OBS is being slow too. Every time I hit a button to switch to a different scene, it takes it a second. So yeah, we might I might do some more swapping of stuff. Anyhow, yes. Uh, in terms of projects, however, I'll share the links in our Discord when I launch them. But we're gonna have some cat videos, everybody, for real, for real this time. We've got some fun ones. I have to say too, for any of you watching that gifted us with fixins for the cats, we did a little post. Stephanie and I did a post about one of the cats that we had taken in. He's outdoors. He's codenamed Ozzy. He's out in our garage here, and we done it. We left a post about it saying how it's a little overwhelming. Yeah, and it is honestly. We are stretched thin, and a number of you stepped up and hit the links that we had asked for, links of where you could donate, which are on our Dollhouse Katina page. And we have, I think we still have an Amazon wish list that's up there. I want to thank all of you because that was so cool. The boxes started arriving a week ago, and they only just stopped. Like, I think our last one came in yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, and that was huge. And we don't Stephanie and I don't like to make a habit of asking for help. It's not in our nature, but we really appreciate the help. And in our to say thank you, I'm taking it upon myself to do the YouTube channel just because it's going to be easier for me to share cat videos, right? I'm set up to do kind of this stuff, also mobile, in the house. If I can get this working so well in my basement, just imagine how well it'll work when I move to a different part of the house. No. I want to bring it up to the sunroom, so that'll be the next. Once I get this nailed down, I'll be doing a few things. So anyway, that is definitely coming up. Yeah, and I'm also moving out some of the short video stuff, like the intro that I've been using, the spacey intro. I love it. It's going to go somewhere else, so that will be released here shortly, and I need to get into the habit of shooting videos. Have you ever worked on Twitch? Yes. Happy Sex, Happy Place. Yes, I actually started on Twitch. My live stream, I started in 2019. It was I was going to start it anyway, but it also happened to start right at the beginning of the pandemic. So yeah, that was another case of me overthinking things until they are ready to go. But anyhow, yes, I was on Twitch. I did well on Twitch. I did very well. I love it. I think that Twitch has definitely. I feel like Twitch has a slightly better experience for community chat followers on a live stream. That is definitely where their strengths lie. I made the switch though to YouTube simply from the numbers. More people were finding me faster on YouTube. And when I say faster and more people, I'm not just saying here's Twitch chugging along, going pretty good. No, YouTube was like up here. So it was like two. YouTube was doing a hockey stick. I've always been a little twitchy, exactly, just a little bit. Thank you, David. Yes. It didn't take a genius to look at the numbers. Let's put it that way. So I figured, okay, I don't game a lot, so it's a little.
it's definitely geared more towards gamers on Twitch. There's no doubt about it. I don't hold it against them. I'm not like the kind of person sitting here going, "Oh, that place is just for gamers." No, it was very cool. In fact, I mean, holy crap! I'm wearing a T-shirt for one of the Twitch streamers I was kind of loosely affiliated with. I was a fan, and I made him a painting. So yeah, Twitch is very cool. In fact, kind of doing the switch from Twitch to YouTube, I did lose a few of the Twitch casual viewers, which is a little unfortunate. And I wasn't very regular anyway, so it was I was probably at best a middling low number Twitch live streamer. Over here, it's grown very nicely, and it's taken me, gosh, I think like a little over a year. I've been slowly building this, right? I mean, the whole year has been rebuilding what I do in general and how I do it. I guess that's the best way you could describe it. So it's been a little slow to see from your side. Have noticed looking through Twitch are all the people drawing well-endowed cat ladies crudely rather than proper artists. Well, you'll find your fair share of that over here at YouTube as well. Yeah, that's there's a lot of that. And regrettably, I don't have an OnlyFans yet, so yeah, I would have the worst OnlyFans if that were the case. But you're still here, and that's all. You're still Rhonda. You're here, Iridium, all of you. Thank you so much. No, I kept the good ones, right? I kept the good ones. Only paints, yeah. And a special shout out. So this is a curious thing. Over on Twitch, I believe, it's the same thing on Twitch. Yeah, never mind. I noticed there are definitely a lot of viewers out that right now who don't have a YouTube, like they don't sign into YouTube. They don't keep a logged in account. So for those of you that are watching, hi, thank you. If you want to log in and hit the subscribe button, that would be awesome. It would be a great favor to me because YouTube tracks subscriber counts. So that would be absolutely fantastic. YouTube also tracks who watches what and for how long. So if it doesn't offend you to hit the login to YouTube, that's cool too. Those are the easiest ways you can support what I'm doing here, and it actually supports a lot. It matters a lot. Subscriber counts and likes. Wes says, if Rhonda leaves, I don't know what I can do. So Rhonda's our canary in the coal mine. I figure if I get to a point where I bore or offend Rhonda, I'm probably going in the wrong direction. So yeah. You have a separate account for the TV. Oh, cool. If you have separate YouTube accounts, go log into them and hit subscribe on all of them. I promise I'll appreciate it. No. It's not a requirement, really. I actually know people who actively do not ever log into services with an account to places like YouTube, Gmail, anything attached to really anybody. And for those folks, please stick around, watch, enjoy it. Don't even worry about it. I don't care if you don't. That's cool too. So if you don't want to do that for your own reasons, it doesn't bother me at all. Stick around. You'll miss out on being able to chat back at me, which means that maybe you should go seek out my Discord. Woohoo! Told ya. Rhonda said, I was all that mattered. 100%. 100%. I do have a YouTube sketching channel, but I've not updated it in several years. I do hour-long sketches and speed them up to like speed drawings. That's very cool. Haven't done it in years, so I need to get on it. Yeah. Oh yeah, and if I offend Wes too, that would be terrible. I think the only time I offended Wes was years ago on Starship Model, where I said, "Oh, light waves for chumps." Rachel says, "Yeah, you needed to keep the watch history." Yeah, it's helpful. I actually find there are a lot of places I won't bother logging into. I actually do keep a pretty good track of what I do. I know kind of generally who's sharing my info. YouTube, I felt like, they're probably going to know what I'm watching if you're logged in or not.
In fact, if you're using a Google phone, they're definitely no. I mean, really, unless you're using a device that's like totally off grid, right? That's like what do they call it? Sneaker net, air gapped. They're gonna know what you're watching. So for me, the it's a convenience thing. I don't care if they see what I watch. I really don't. But that's just me personally. So yay. Discord, you look it up. Hey, cool. I should get a link in there. I don't have. Oh yeah, why isn't that thing running? That's the other thing that's running. Faith Faulkner, greeting. Hey, everybody. I want everybody to give a huge thumbs up to Faith here. Faith is has been sticking around here for probably back since almost the beginning. And Faith, with your Stardust. Bingo. You said recently that you had run a couple of Kickstarters that were really successful. So I want to give you a huge shout out and a huge thumbs up. iPhone users working at Microsoft. Yeah, that would be me. Congratulations and excellent job. You are kicking it. That is so super cool. I know you, Faith here's posted a lot in our Discord, so I don't even remember how I found you. Gosh, how did it was over on Twitch? We were just talking about that. So yeah. With us, we can start our own competing Crystal Space Art channel using AI. Oh, Faith, I will hunt you down if you do that. No. Many thanks for the love. Oh no, seriously, you're doing all the right things. I know you'd reached out for some collaboration last year. I was kind of in the midst of the move. I probably dropped the ball on it. Yeah, it was Twitch. Yeah, but definitely doing the right thing for the right reasons, and everyone should give Faith a follow. So yeah, why is my Discord not showing? If someone, gosh, I think people can share the link. I'll try to remember to share the link in the. Here, hang tight. I'm not even going to touch my computer. The computer's working. I don't know. For all of you who are just joining, we spent like almost the first hour just dealing with my crap. So my audio was being corrupted. Create channel. No, I already created a channel. How do I do the link invite? There we go. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Copy link. There we go. Hello, folks. Oh, it's fine. Just keep in touch. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, so we've been troubleshooting this stuff. I want to be able to just have this thing ready to go, and I'm sick of the audio issues. They have confounded me. This week was another. I need this to be mobile. Yes. I have about 20 pounds of camera gear floating above my head. Anyway, there's the link in the chat for the Discord. You're welcome to drop in and say hi at any point. So yes. As to the other stuff that's going on, there's a novel in the works and several short stories attached to the novel. So that's happening. There are some fun rumblings happening with short stuff. Let's chat on Discord about the setup. I can probably help you out. Thank you. Oh, yes, Wes, I forgot. Okay, I need to do another call out too. Wes, you and Krista, you have a GoFundMe set up. I want to make sure that we get that listed in here because that is very important as well. I want to make sure that everyone is aware of some of these things, and I need to do a better job of it. So I will gladly reach out to you, Wes, about the audio stuff. And I know you and Iridium both have done a fantastic job helping me out with this. So let me just grab copy link. There we go. I want to post this in the main thing on Discord. There we go. All righty. I know we're just doing some community stuff here. I may not even end up painting. Go figure. No, I'm going to paint. Are you kidding me? I'm painting. You can't force me to not paint. There we go. All right. Got that over there in the community chat as well. Faith has posted quite frequently and share your space art over on the Discord forum, and I definitely highly recommend checking out some of those posts for sure. Very cool. All right, here we are back on. Yay! Very cool. Stories by Chris. There are stories by Chris, Faith. Oh my gosh. Co-captain's chair. Hey, Tasty Whale, how you doing? Greetings. Howdy, howdy. Yes, we will do the stories. They're shortly to a point where I can actually release something, which is really cool. Oh wait, there we go. Make sure that I'm back on there. Yay. Bum bum bum. There are stories. I've gone full. I'll just give it the short overview. Is two of the best movies that aren't Star Trek movies but feel like they are: Hunt for Red October and Master and Commander and the Far Side of the World. I've taken those sort of as inspiration for a sci-fi story that I've been mulling actually since before we started the live stream, and it's all come together and merged and munged into a form that needs to see the light of day. And I've been inspired by the authors that I've worked with. Actually, I've become, I think, good friends with a couple of my author clients, who have turned out to be very super cool people, and I'm thrilled. So it's been inspiring for me to see kind of a glimpse into their process and their lives, and in some cases, we're kind of going through the same sort of creative arc, which is kind of cool. It's always fun when you run into somebody who's, doing either the same thing you're doing or kind of tertiary, and maybe going through it at sort of roughly the same, general time frame. I don't even know what you would call what I'm doing here. Hey, Chris, did you ever give The Sojourn a listen? Yes, The Sojourn has very Master and Commander vibes. I am very cool. Right, full rudder, reverse starboard engine. Yeah, right. I don't, Faith, I don't know. Wait a second. I don't think I got. I did, but when you sent it, I was going through it. Oh my gosh, it must have been like last summer. Couple the Heisenberg compensators and set sail. Exactly. Well, you'll be happy to know that I have no problem breaking a few rules for good sci-fi to make a good sci-fi story. The idea of writing a hard sci-fi story along the lines of the Martian very much appeals to me, but right now I think I got to work out a little Star Trek out of my system. Yeah. But honestly, one of the weirdest things that came to me, instead of just my natural tendency would be Crystal, space artist, writes a science fiction book, but honestly, there are a couple of periods in my life that would be good cannon fodder for sort of a oh gosh, who would be one of the authors I would say that would give a treatment? Well, Tim Sandlin is one who was a real goofball, and I loved his writing style. Hilarious and had some good stories, so I might have to go that route. There are definitely times in my life where I feel like they would have been a Wes Anderson movie for sure, 100%. And if I ever get a chance to shoot movies, I will certainly take that as my inspiration. A little bit of Wes Anderson, a little bit of Stanley Kubrick. You got to have that. That would be like my comfort zone, right? Not even Wes Anderson. Gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to put that all into a blender and see what I come up with. Awesome. Okay. All right. We've done nothing. So I'm gonna, but I do have to step away and take a quick break. I love Frederick Paul's writing style. Oh my gosh. In particular, a couple of his more well-known books, Gateway in particular, they're so just on, right? Like, I love it when a lot of science fiction books that get to be very well-known are like this. They're just very efficient, good prose, good writing, good reads, and yeah, I like Frederick Paul as well. Before I walk away though, let me grab a. I don't want to just leave you staring at white. So, spaceship. Boom. There we go. Come on, kick over to the other scene. There it is. Because Rachel mentioned it, we're gonna leave you with. Well, that's just lame. Why don't I get like an actual painting? That's just lame. Let's do this. There we go. Right. I'll be right back, everybody. Don't go away. Stick around. Quick break. There we go. 2 seconds. Well, that's just not fair. Let's do that. There we go. Spacer! Woohoo! Ooh, that was a quick painting. Be right back, everybody. I'll need the drink. Hey everybody, we are back. Hello, thank you, thank you. Looks AI to you. Get out of here. Oh my god, you can see the it's broken. No, actually it's I don't even think I finally glued this thing yet now that I think about it. It's sort of waiting in its current state of decals. This is pretty cool. I'm just gonna sit here and Strange New World Season 3. Do 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 do. Oh, I gotta do it that way. Sorry, there we go. Woo! Okay, this is kind of more fun. Do I have to do it? Do I have to paint? No, I'm just kidding. That would be rude. All right. Steve Iverson was saying, I don't paint, I don't build models. Yeah. No. Yeah. What do you know, Steve? Just kidding. Giving Steve some grief. That's all good. Thank you everyone for sticking around. Let's do some painting. Let's do it. Let me do some painting. Actually, do some space art for God's sakes. I mean, it is a space art channel, right? There we go. All right. You're going to do space art on the space art channel, right? Yeah, let's do that. Let me back this up a little bit. Let's, there we go. Yeah. How close do you guys want this? Guys and gals. We got good focus? Got good focus, right? We got the good focus? Make sure I got good focus. I think I bumped my focus. Da 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 da. Yeah, I bumped the focus. All this shit that I should have done, but I bumped it. There we go. All right. Remember, everybody, only professionals live stream this way. Yeah, don't drop it. Yeah, right. I did bump my head right into it. That was annoying as all get out. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I got my face in there a little bit. I might pop that out of there at some point. I do have a nice selection of my brushes, though. I don't have the widest brush. Where is that? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, there we go. So got one of my wide brushes. I got my new fan brush and my old fan brush. We will get to some stars today, folks. One of us is blurry. It's me, guaranteed. I had to turn off the autofocus because it refused to focus on the thing that was the most important, which would be the art. Oh, that's actually a charcoal pencil. I'm gonna save that. Anyway, I'm gonna keep these handy. You know, maybe I should do the tape thing. I have to go, David. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a great time. Take care. Thank you. I have to do a thing. The one thing I didn't really do on this, and I am going to do it just because I like the effect. I'm going to go for this larger board. This is let's do the one underneath. Yeah, there we go. Do the one underneath. This is a 10-inch by 15-inch board. This one's crescent. So basically, this is matte board that has I think this is hot pressed. Yeah, whatever the smooth or cold pressed. It's the smooth one. It's got a smooth paper, which takes paint very well. Casein paint. My cerulean blue here. This kind of paint is very. It needs a firm surface. You cannot paint on canvas with this paint. This is like gouache. It forms a hard shell that can fracture. However, on a good flat surface, like a board or a piece of illustration board that I have here, excellent paint. You can use it on watercolor paper as long as you go really thin, like a watercolor. It holds that up very, very well. There we go, a little bit more than that. There we are. Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum-bum. So when I prep a board, I like to give myself a border, And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get some of the tackiness off the tape here so it doesn't go straight and pull up my pull up the paper off the board. Always seems to happen anyway. This is a low tack tape, but as you can see, I'm making it a little more low tack by collecting all of the old paint off the board and probably about 5,000 cat hairs. That would be my guess, actually. Maybe more than that. Actual number may vary. Those who can guess the number properly will win $10,000 at the end of the live stream. That, of course, is a fabrication. I don't have $10,000 to give, and I probably wouldn't give it to you anyway. But, you know, I actually really love the look of this board. When I first started the live stream, it was all just wood. I feel this gives it character, you know? Just nice. Anyway, so got that back on there. Boom, gouache is quite picky about the surfaces it goes on. Yes. Casein, very, very similar to gouache. I feel like gouache was sort of the natural replacement of casein. Biggest difference being that casein is not, you cannot reactivate it after it has dried and cured the same way you can gouache. Gouache is effectively thick watercolor paint. If you re-wet gouache, you are very likely going to re-wet your paint. Whereas with casein, once it's down and dry, you can paint right over it. And a lot of their colors are more opaque, the same way a lot of the illustration gouaches are. So you can get some really cool effects. Hello to Pickles! Hey, Nanu, how you doing today? Good to see ya. Pickles! That board is my work history. It is indeed. Some of these I can almost make out which painting it was. That is hilarious. Nanu, I just got a good hello from our cat Pickles. When I was upstairs, I took a quick break, ran upstairs for a moment. Say hi to Stephanie, who's up there. Pickles, of course, is one of the 20 cats that we have in the house. Yes, you heard me right. Actually, I take that back. The current number is now 21 with the inclusion of a kitten named Pot Roast, who sadly is going to be going to his forever home here shortly. We have a lovely couple who are adopting Pot Roast, but he's been amazing. But yes, Pickles is doing very well. She's so happy. Pickles cracks me up. I have to do like a whole separate video just on Pickles. Whenever Pickles sees you, she meow. Like if you say hi, Pickles, it's meow. You did offer to take Pickles. Yes, you did. I know, but you also weren't sure if you could take Pickles. So, Nanu, if you get to that point, let me know. I know she would go to a good home, and she definitely liked you. So that was really cool. Yeah. Nanu had the opportunity to visit Shay Doll and the Dollhouse Catina. So that was pretty cool. Probably got to meet about 15 of the cats, with all of the rest of them being shy and ridiculous, right? I think that was probably about the case. Happy Sack says, I'm using acrylic on canvas board. Oh, that's very cool. Yes, it's quite tolerant for noobs like me. There's a weird thing about canvas board, Happy Sacks, that I found. It's strangely... It's absorbent in a different way than canvas. I don't know of any other way to describe it. So just so you know, canvas will paint, like a stretched canvas kind of paints a little differently than canvas board, and not in a bad way, but just something to be aware of. When I went from one to the other, I was like, wait a second, what's going on? It was really cool. Better to ask for forgiveness than permission, right? Exactly. Yeah, there you go. I cannot take responsibility for any marital strife that results from the acquisition of cats. Yeah. We have actually reached a very good equilibrium with the cats. We feel as though we might have finally gotten all of the locals that were contributing to the population. So, that is very, very cool. Awesome. All right, I'm going to pull this down here. And since we were I was kind of going into my book and story, I thought maybe with my painting today, I'll do a space scene, in-case scene that sort of comes back to a particular moment from the story, and we'll just kind of roll from there. Right. All right. I'm gonna grab a couple of things here. Extra drink. Oh, it says I did have a small canvas, and you tried it for the springiness. Yeah, it's actually not bad. All canvases vary. As long as you get your drawing down on it, however it takes, or if you're doing a drawing, that is, or if you're just painting straight on, it's actually really cool. I find the springiness with canvas is really kind of fun. I like it for God. I haven't really talked about that. Yeah, the springiness on canvas is with the right brushes, you could do some really cool stuff. It's just fun. I like it a lot. Anyhow, alrighty then. I am going to dismiss my face. There we go. I want the board here. There we are. Give me the board, the whole board. I'm just gonna put some lines down, see how far I can go into the drawing. So the story in question involves a spacecraft, a gigantic spacecraft. I've been calling the Copernicus. So I'm just going to get some lines down here. This is a very, very light pencil. This is a 2H. I'm doing this on purpose because I don't really want the I don't want to damage the board with thick graphite too much. So anyhow, this ship has appeared a number of times in my paintings, and it changes shape occasionally, and it's kind of gone through some renovations, and I'm feeling the need to kind of go and tweak some things on it, and that has led to some very interesting choices. And I haven't really, yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna work on the forms here that I felt were probably gonna be important, and we will just see how it works in a painting, shall we? There's some elements that I feel I have consistently brought into these designs, and they've been modified a little bit for the benefit of what's the word I was looking for? Closer up details. I felt like I had the basic shapes in place, but I didn't really have a refined sense of the design. But I've been getting there. I hope you drive spaceships better than you do RVs. This RV ain't dropping. Yeah. Oh no, I'll make sure there's a nice corner taken out of the back corner of it. That was exciting. Oh boy. Yeah. I got to tell you, I actually went on to a Facebook group of people who own the RV that we own. And it was funny when I mentioned what had happened, and how long I had owned the motorhome before it had happened. People were like, congratulations, I did that the first week I got the thing out. So I feel like I've owned the thing now for almost, 15 years. And if I've only really damaged it significantly in one way that didn't impact the function, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty okay. But it certainly was one of the dumbest things I have ever done. I felt so stupid. Oh, I felt so stupid. Oh, yes. So I'm just trying to get some shapes in here and see where everything kind of takes us, right? We have a big main hall here, and this is kind of I had it kind of a little bit too dome-like, I guess you could say. So I'm modifying some bits, yeah, just for the sake of making it cool. And it happens. Yeah, it really does. It happened to me. That's the problem. No. One of my redesigns of this ship gave it sort of this Aero-Saarinen front view, and I feel like that I have to lean into that quite a bit. And so I'm doing that. I'm not, the mass down below here is a little bit, I'm not quite there yet. I feel like the line needs to be right there. That's probably, yeah, that's going to make a really cool shape. So I like the idea that, so we're looking at this from the side, right? So we're kind of doing we're doing a sort of a side profile view. We're looking at it a little down, so we're kind of going to get a little bit of the, it's not just a straight ortho view, right? If I were to carry this back, it would be kind of like there. So there we go. Actually, I kind of like this. One of the things I want to do is do a full pencil rendering and seal it with clear gesso. Some of you that, oh gosh, I forget who posted it. Somebody posted one of the, it wasn't Manchu. It was one of the other artists. He works this way. But he does it with like oil paints. But I think it would work with casein, acrylic. It really works with any kind of paint, right? It's more of a, yeah, it's more of a process. So I want to do kind of a nice, juicy spaceship drawing, seal it, which takes a day. Like you have to put the clear gesso on, let it dry, and then you can kind of paint, right? So I feel like that's something I would like to actually do. Now, the engine drive on this has a pretty specific shape, but from the side, it doesn't look like much. So I'm imagining this whole ship has, most of it is like this gigantic collection of power supply and the drives itself. It is all internal. It has a unique way of dealing with heat dissipation that I deal with in the story, which is why you don't see gigantic veins coming off of it. But you know, I'll deal with that in the technical manual. So for me, I have to write a story, and then I have to write a technical manual to go along with it, because that's half the fun, right? That's half the fun. Alrighty. So on the bottom, so let's see what we're doing here. I'm just want to get the shapes in. I am playing with some new shape forms in some of these areas with the intention of it being cool. I want some cool shapes, darn it. I really want some cool shapes. There we go. Alrighty. Bum 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 ba-dum bum and ba-dum bum. I'm doing the music by humming it. Which, by the way, I did this wrong. Shit, I did this wrong. This is an inset, not a. Okay, that's what we got to do. We got to do that. That's what we do. Okay, and then one more down here. There we go. Yes. The ship is enormous. It is enormous, I tell you. All right. I mean, who doesn't want cool shapes, right? Exactly. But yes, the technologies should define the function of the ship, right? So I want this shape to be out, like basically here. Okay, I'm just leaning down into it. This front thing, that is absolutely 100% a nod to the Klingon battlecruiser and Klingon bird of prey. No questions asked. I am going to submit myself for the, for the condemnation. Don't care. Don't give a, yeah, don't care. There we go. Yes, we're kind of going to give it some of that. Now, unlike most of the ships you've seen, the living section is basically like if I were to carve this up, like we have now a very good side view. Maybe that's what I should do is a cutaway view. Man, that would be kind of cool. So what we have going on here is a lot of the vessel is covered with what are effectively armor plating, but it's not for battle. It's not a warship. This is an exploration vessel, but it also exists in a very you have to deal with radiation. You have to deal with radioactivity. You have to deal with the harshness of space. And so a lot of the outside structure is clad with, reminds me of the old Star Blazer comics by, ooh, cool. I love the musical Strange New Worlds episode. Oh, Rachel, I did too. Oh my God. It was, yeah. See, I am really, really enjoying what they've been doing with Strange New Worlds. I'm cool. I am 100% cool with that. With them having a musical episode. And it was well done, and it was fun. I got a kick out of it. But why are we singing? Yes. It's awesome. Okay, anyway, so let's just travel through a little bit the weird design that is well, I've been calling it the Copernicus. And I'm kind of even debating if I'm going to keep that name. I kind of like, who was it? I kind of like the idea of ships, instead of being named after people, maybe they need to be named after concepts. So yes, but then we start getting into the territory of who was the Culture series where all the ships were named this weird crap. So I'm not going to go there. All right, so. Actual scale of a human being, maybe that. Maybe this dot right here. There's a dot right there. Maybe that. But the front section and pretty much back to about, I would say back to about right here is the primary living space of the ship. There's habitable spaces along the neck here, and this front section is essentially an astronomy science module. Living sections are like right here. All of this up top is what you would absolutely expect it to be. The command center, the bridge. Let's just make matters worse. We'll be basically up in here, and I'm leaving it a weird triangle because I don't know the shape of it yet. But there's also administrative offices, and there's also some asshole VIPs that live in this section. No, I'm kidding. They're not assholes. There's a very weird combination to it. But the bulk of the people live inside of it's effectively an open dome, right? With giant windows in the front so that when they're at the planet, they can actually just, look out and see it. The Lido deck, exactly. Yes, the Lido deck comes right along here. Observations and so forth. In fact, I think I've got these are a gigantic bank of front windows. If you saw it from the front, it basically does kind of like the flying sub thing. This is my like miniature front view of it. It's basically doing one of these with a complicated arc, right? So this is the front view of this. I'm sorry, of this right over here. Never mind that. So yeah, so you've got like, giant windows. Transparent aluminum, people? Yes. Now, within this space, there are it's mostly open and contained. There's actually parks and trees. It's basically a what's the word I'm looking for? It's an atrium, and then there's structures inside to provide housing and living space and all that stuff for, like, I think it's up to 10,000 people. I think is what I had for it exactly. So, just to give you an idea of how gigantic this thing is, it's huge. The all of this down below is what isn't taken up by gigantic fusion reactors and the drive system is all of the stuff they're bringing to another planet. So this is like a giant hangar deck, right? with a red laser in the eyes, right up here. Red laser. Bzzzt, zeet, exactly. So this whole section underneath is, basically landing stuff. They're going to a planet. Their intent is to go to a planet and set up surface operations. So this has all the stuff to do that. They carry, and I don't have them depicted on here yet because I don't know what they're going to be. They carry a number of packages on the sides here, down below, that are effectively asteroid mining rigs. Once they reach their destination, these detach at wherever they drop them, and they start digging into asteroids to dig up materials for their operations, right? So once they get to where they're going, the Copernicus here parks itself in orbit and becomes kind of a permanent platform, right? So it's the place where everybody lives while they explore the planet. And thus it is configured and built in a fashion that will make it comfortable for people to live, work, and do business on this gigantic thing for a period of, 20, 40, 50, 150 years. It's really fat. It's a little fat. I think this is a little large down here, but that's okay. It's a side view, right? Avatar, humans for the win. Yeah, very, very Avatar, but with warp drives, right? Kind of, effectively. So the side here that I'm not depicting are more science pods that have more dedicated science equipment. So that because of the size of the structure, you can have 3 different positions that are pretty far apart, and you can get interferometry for telescope operations and so forth. So I might not even show that on here. I might just leave this off. Kind of want to just depict. Well, I probably need to show something because, yeah, I'll paint it in. I will paint in a scientific structure right here. All right. So I kind of have all the things, but I am going to dedicate some time to getting the paints ready, I think. Oh, the scene itself. Aha. Let's ignore all of this because I'm going to paint over it anyway. What I really want, where did that go? Where did this go? I could do that. That's too small of a circle. Let's see if I got a bigger circle. Yeah, forget it. I don't have a bigger circle. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do sort of a, it's just coming around a planet surface. And actually, I think I want the surface to be more like here. Yeah, that's better. Let's bring it back up like that, and then down like this. Well, maybe I want a tighter one. Yeah, okay, we'll do it. We'll figure it out. Okay, and then right up here, we're going to have a little glint of the star that this planet is orbiting from. So we'll have a little, this will be kind of like our zone of effect for a nice sunset. Well, not sunset, sunrise, if you will. And we'll get some light cast right here, and right here, and right here, and right here. But most of this will be bathed in shadow. And we'll just get a hint of the planet, and then all of this out here will be stars, 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 stars. So there we go. Okay, cool. And then I sign it, and we're done. Thanks, everybody. Cool day. No. Wouldn't that be terrible if that's how I was acting? Oh my gosh, that would be bad. Yeah. Okay, so I've got, it's about the size of this painting. I feel like this is a pretty good one, pretty good size. And let me just kind of take a look here. What do I not like about it? It just kind of looks tubby. It looks like this looks like a cartoon of a spaceship. What's going on here? I think it's this line. I think this line needs to be like down there. I like that better. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like that better. And then this one comes up to, yeah, I don't want this line. This line's terrible. Although that gives them significantly less cargo space, but I do need to do something to it. So we'll do that. And do I want to come out that far? No, no, no. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll play it by ear. I don't mind leaving it loose like this. All right. What an ass. What an ass. I know. Old junk in the trunk on that ship. Holy smokes. Holy crap. See, but in side view, what you get is yeah, so like if I were looking at this in side view or kind of a 3/4 view, what you get then is kind of a ship that does like this. You get this form, right? You kind of get this thing coming out to something kind of elegant. And this is coming back here. This is coming back here. And these come out to your John Berkey style science pod. Sorry. And then this one comes down back to here. These actually come in. So even though from the side it kind of looks fat, it actually extends out quite a bit. And then you get the front science module kind of out here. Like that's kind of, you end up with a very unique shape. In 3D, it actually works better. It doesn't look so good from this view though. But I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it anyway. And let's going to make it work. Yeah. Right. All right, I'm just going to clear the decks here. I need to get some color tones. We're kind of dealing with, we're going to be dealing with a lot of dark, right? So we're going to have to sink this into a very dark, I kind of want to go like a dark purple. The way to do that would be to do a permasol blue, which is like it's like a phthalo blue. I don't want cadmium red. I don't want any although I could do a cadmium red. Cadmium red scarlet. Well, the best way to do it would be to go just raw umber permasol blue, but I don't want to do that. I do want a bit of here we go. I've got some alizarin crimson. So this will kind of be the basis for our darkest dark. I'm going to mix that up first. So maybe I can do that this way. There we go. Yeah, I can. Check that out. Watch this. I'm just going to mix it right up onto my paint palette. So let's grab ourselves a little mixing tool. There we go. God, that's a little one. That's another little one. There's a big, huge one. And there's a flat one I don't want. And then there's, yeah, okay, we'll work with that. All right. Now we'll get out the old trusty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up I love the names of paints, right? Alizarin crimson. I never liked alizarin crimson that much for the kinds of painting that I was doing, but mainly that was because I was using it for the wrong reasons. Alizarin crimson is not as bright and hot of a magenta. It's a little bit closer to red. It's a great red. This is a perfect crimson for any kind of realistic painting. I was going for kind of funky, spacey stuff, right? So, oh, that paint wasn't doing so great. Whoa, hate it when that happens. Boy, I've seen a cat do that. All right, well, there's the raw umber, folks. Got that one set. Cool. All righty. Let's see. I haven't opened these paints in a while, so honestly, I don't know what I'm going to be getting. I'm going to set this one right over here. There we go. So these have about the thickness of an acrylic heavy body paint, maybe medium body, right? But water soluble, which is really cool. This one separated a lot from the medium. The medium's a very thin liquid, as you'd expect. Kind of the same thing you'd expect from any of the others. You can make your own names up for paints like Whoop, Zaz, and Green or Ticked Off. Yeah. Yeah. TMI, right, Brent? Sorry, exactly. All right. So this is kind of going to be my black, and I'm going to make use of this. Oh, man, that is a nice... Actually, I like the thinness of this, so I'm going to take the first step and get in some black details before I start going too crazy, because I like having a... let me pull this back over. We're going to put this where it would be comfy and maybe possibly even in view. I can keep it in view there. Yeah, let's do that. I got a lot of space. I'm going to turn my head off again, folks, while I do the painting part. Hope you don't mind. But you'd rather see the painting, right? Haha. Or ennui gray, exactly. Oh, yes. Festering magenta. No, anyway. All right, I'm going to go with a tiny brush right now because I want to get in some good lines. And basically, I just, like with any paint, just kind of get it to whatever consistency you have. This one keeps a good, good concentration. I really like it. All right. Oh, see, I put my paint thing over and I got some bits on. So basically, my first pass, I've got a spaceship here. I want to put in anything that is like super dark, right? Some more water in there. There we go. So in this particular style, which is sort of an emulation of maybe the stuff that John Berkey would do, I do put in the stuff that would be like, very dark zones. And we can paint in details in these later. But this is kind of a typical way to do this sort of thing. And I should be paying attention to the quality of the lines here. I need to be, this one got a little off. The better you do here, the better you'll be able to handle it later. So yeah, I always liked the Star Blazers, spaceship Yamato. It was very battleship-like, and they had their command bridge up in a battleship tower. I just think that's cool. Well, it basically is because I think battleships in general are very cool. Oddly, just in terms of the look and appearance, there's just a lot going on with them. I just think they're neat. I know they're war machines, and that's terrible, and we shouldn't have to have them. But at the same time, there's beauty in machinery. Strangely enough, looks like the profile of a ship I designed for the Legion game back in the olden days. Hey, Todd, how you doing? Yeah, I remember there was Sean and I were big on kind of trying to see what we could do to pull in this John Berkey aesthetic into a space game. That was kind of our thing, and maybe some of me feels like because I left before that actually happened. Well, it wasn't going to happen. Let's be perfectly clear. The 10th Planet, the game that nobody wants to really take credit for. Yeah, we had some cool ideas. We didn't just do 10th Planet, though. We had a couple of others that we were just kind of working on some concepts for briefly, because space games at that time were really getting big. Yeah, don't worry about the ethics. If it's cool, I draw it. Yes, right. Yeah, we're just gonna... I agree. But this is kind of fun. This is where I kind of wish I had the music, darn it. Oh, well. Not good, right? Okay, all right. Risk not helping. Stop. All right. Fair enough. Yep. And I'm just going to kind of leave this section open as if I've lopped it off with a thing. Hey, maybe it was damaged and things happened, right? Maybe that's it. So I'll put some interesting lines in here at least, just to kind of make it fun. That'd be kind of cool. I have way too much paint in my brush for this kind of work, though. Here we go. So I want this. Brush, it's always a bit of brush management, right? Like that is brush and paint management, always the name of the game. And I get
I get to a point where I'm very comfortable with it, and then take a couple of weeks off, and I'm like, gosh darn it, what happened? I was doing so well. Yes. I do want to do some very fun effects with the lighting in this, even if a large portion of it ends up being kind of just monochromatic, at least from the this side of things. But I watched what was From the Earth to the Moon. That was the old HBO miniseries that was actually done by Gary Yost, with a number of people that were also in Justified. So I was a little inspired. They have some really great special effects sequences in that show, seriously. And I'm gonna move some things. I think I'm just gonna put this back out of the way. I want to focus on the ship here. And of course, for me, I'm always fascinated by tales of the Apollo program. That's one of my favorite things that I feel I was able to witness even at a young age, and I'm very glad to have been alive when people walked the moon. That is, I feel very fortunate about that. The neck structure that's happening up here also acts as a docking terminal for incoming and outgoing spacecraft. So they don't always have to go back and park in the hangar. So what'll happen is once in orbit, the shuttles that they use either to the planet's surface or to other destinations within the star system, they would park right along here, which makes this kind of a space station und a station. Yeah. They have found something with your spacecraft. I'm kind of trying to carry the other side of this in so I have an idea of how deep this is. So maybe we can get a little peek inside, and in a future date, I'll tackle some more interiors of the spacecraft, right? Actually, those of you that have been here for a while will notice that I have actually done some live stream paintings of the interiors of this particular spacecraft. It is a favorite of mine to come back to, and I have pondered for many years what the story of this ship ends up being, and it has changed a bit over time as I've considered my options and motives and all of that stuff, and as I was trying to figure out what the story was I'm trying to tell, because if you just tell a story about a spaceship, you're going to bore people to tears. You know, who wants just that, right? It has to be more than just a pretty ship. So, yeah, you gotta have your fun crew. You gotta have your fun crazy things, conspiracies, and little bits that prevent them from doing what they actually want to do. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So, you know, little bits like that, making it fun and unique, in spite of it being horribly derivative in 17 different directions. Who cares, right? Don't care about that. We don't care about derivative. We need meat for the grinder. Yes. There we go. All right. Well, we've got kind of a shape. Again, I feel like I'm doing the spaceship design a disservice with this view, but hopefully, we will be able to make some good use of it. All right. Now, getting the background will be a multi-step process. So I am going to start with some colors, and we will get those in. I think I would like to go with a little bit of, what am I going to lighten blue up with other than a lighter blue? All right, we're going to go with a little bit, I need some white. on the old palette here. So I'm going to do this. And let's do it down here. And it's funny, I bought the biggest container of white paint because I end up using so darn much of the stuff. All right, we're going to get a nice, lovely blue-gray is what we're going to do. Not going to be too bright. We're going to go a little darker than that, though. I absolutely need to go orange, so let me find myself an orange. Let's find... Actually, that would qualify. Oh, I have cadmium orange. So there we go. I always believe that a starship or a space rifle or anything that must have must have personality, especially if it's going to be the centerpiece of a story used by main characters. Absolutely. The milieu, the venue is absolutely the character, or one of the characters. And I agree with that sentiment. Seriously. There we go. Probably a case of too much white, but we're just going to get some color down, right? Because I already have, I basically have freaking white on here. You know, I absolutely love, I feel like the happy accidents that come from doing that are almost like completely worth the effort. So maybe I'll just take a minute and do exactly that. Let's get a few in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're going to make some use of this. Absolutely. But if this is the edge of a planet, I need some going like that. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right. Put some in there, some in there. And some down there. And some over there. It's just an efficiency thing, folks. Even if this goes and trends completely to black, and it might, that's cool. Well designed, but no personality. Yeah. You know, I feel like, though, gosh, it doesn't take much, right? Like when you do have a show based in a universe that is entirely on a ship, it doesn't take a lot, but it does definitely at some point have to be addressed. Not have to, but it should be addressed as a character, right? So Battlestar Galactica, both the old one and the new one, it's background, right? It's not quite so, oh my god, we love our ship, like kind of Star Trek is, but they still do it, and that's pretty cool. All right, so I want to take this blue that I made and just kind of munge it around and get the spaces filled in that are kind of outside the ship. It's just I've been finding over the years that, you know, just trying to load in one color and hoping you get it right, it just kind of doesn't happen that way, right? So I like to kind of work in my background. Like if I've got a big field like this, yeah, taking it a couple of passes. It's all good. You know, for the sake of expediency on a painting like this, it makes a lot of sense to do it in one pass. And maybe I'll be a little more monolithic with the sun here, or the space side of things. In fact, maybe we should let's just do space, like, you know, space. All right. The reason I use the blue up there too is that I'm going to come in and do some work there on that later. But let's get in some. This is the dark color that I used for the ship, and I just want to get in here with a little darker version of it. There we go. So I just want to get this Get the Terminator of the planet's day-night side in. There we go. And that's pretty horrible. This is about as horrible as I expected it to be, but that's okay. We're just getting this on in here. I can't even really see the painting yet. I can't quite see the painting. PSG is an example. Yeah, right. You felt the old girl at the end. Exactly. That was the important part. That was exactly the point they needed to do it, right? In fact, what I kind of like about how the Galactica character, the ship Galactica as a character in the 2003 Galactica series, at first you don't really get a sense that people like it very much, right? It is a museum ship. I love that part of it. That may be my favorite part of the BSG ethos, right? Is that they had this museum ship. There's just something about that is appealing to me. And sure, there's love for it because it has history and, Damo's on and all that good stuff. But it really doesn't, it's not like, oh, this is our grand ship, right? And then they don't really talk about it like that much. They don't really mention it kind of well, I guess they do when Pegasus shows up, because then it gets the nickname of the old bucket that I don't think anyone really likes the nickname. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. Sorry, Dave, I can't do that. Oh, the ultimate personality spaceship, right, Iridium? Hey, Rachel, thank you for joining. Have a great time. Awesome. Oh, yeah, and Rhonda, there are warm colors intended for this painting, I swear. The sunset part will be very, very warm. I just needed to get my blues in. Blake 7 Liberator. I was horrified when it died. See, I actually haven't seen Blake 7 yet, so that's spoiler alert. Oh no, I didn't see it. The show's 40 years old. No, yeah, that I've heard. I'm familiar with the story enough where I kind of understand what was going on. Yeah. All right, I'm kind of completing my my attempt at the rendering of this part for now until I let that kind of do its thing. Let's get some black. Halftone, no. How about Payne's gray? No. I want straight up. I think they have Mars black. I've been getting ivory black from them, but here we go. All right. I should hope so. The red dwarf starbug, the blue midget ships all have massive personality. Yeah. All right, I'm getting some black. A little bit of a drier one, so I'm going to kind of see if I can get some water into it. I need some more spray. My water sprayer is dying. Won't work no more. It doesn't like to work, so I need some water sprayers. Need to go to the old Dollar Tree or wherever I can go to get that kind of stuff. I hate shopping at Dollar Trees. I really don't like it much. Not gonna lie. All right. All right, where's my other paintbrush? Here we go. Let's get some. Let's get the other side in, shall we? Yes. All right. You see how it kind of doesn't. I've thinned it down a little bit, so I'm gonna need to make multiple passes. We're gonna get like brush strokes like crazy, but that's okay. I'll do something clever with the transition between planet and space, because you got to see the atmosphere and all of that. I just want to get the space part, kind of the black of space, if you will. I'm looking forward to them getting to the season of Murderbot with the transport ship. See, I have to start that. Oh my gosh. Everyone's familiar with Murderbot. I am not familiar with the story, honestly. I'm kind of like I feel like kind of I did with Silo, where I'm like, okay, I got to play catch up because it looks incredibly intriguing. I just haven't sat down with it yet, but yeah, that sounds really fun. I like what's his name, Skarsgård. For all the wobbly sets, it was groundbreaking. Oh, Blake 7 was the first sci-fi show where do things like have a character story arc, characters that were shades of gray. Oh yeah, kind of like the spaghetti westerns. Yeah. Sergio. Oh, whoops! I just touched my paint. Stupid. Sergio Leone. Yes, kind of like that in space. Yeah, Blake Seven was very cool. It was just weird for me because, when I was watching a lot of these kinds of shows, it always depended on where you lived. I've said this on the live stream before, and sometimes I just flat out missed them because there was no real opportunity to watch it. But you know what? It was on one of the streaming channels recently, like Tubi, one of the freebie ones, and I'm like, okay, cool. I get to finally sit down and watch Blake Seven. This is gonna be great. And when I went back, nope, not there anymore. Nope, gone. Nope, gone. Fudge. Yeah, that's the way of the streaming world. Here we go. See that? There we go. Now the cool thing is I put tape down, so mostly unless I flood it with this paint like I'm doing right now, it'll give me a nice good crisp edge. There we go. Yeah, we're kind of seeing the illusion now. We're kind of seeing the illusion. I'm digging it. Now let's see. Now I can kind of see what the image is going to be. It was a UK BBC show, and it's probably on Cindy. Oh, 100%, yeah. But it was like Red Dwarf, too. It took me years to... Well, actually, I think the first time I saw Red Dwarf, we were getting videotapes of it from a convention, a science fiction convention, more than anything else. I need this black level right about here. I'm going to be putting this in. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. For all of its wobbly sets. Well, see, that was kind of the beauty of, like, Doctor Who, too. I mean, no one would ever accuse Doctor Who of having the entire, the finest of production values, but that's not what it was about. It was fine. It was exactly what they needed and exactly what they could do, and that was perfect. In fact, I kind of gotta go. Need to think about dinner. Take care, Iridium. Hope to see you soon. I haven't forgotten about our call. Sorry, buddy. I know it's been a week. Cheers, man. I've been terrible. I've been like, oh my god, I gotta do this thing, and I said like a week ago it happened. Wait, no, it was 2 weeks ago now. Son of a. Yeah, I'm having a little time dilation in my life right now, so that's not helping. I'm like, wait, what happened? It's been 2 weeks? What are you talking about? I just did that thing, or I was gonna just do that thing. No, it's that's life. Cheers, man. All right. So I know that's still very streaky. I get that, and it's going to be. That's going to be fine. I'm just wanting to get in the. There's a method to my madness. There we go. Okay, so now I can kind of start to see where we're going. There we are. Oh, righty, folks. Okay. I hope that you're having fun so far. I feel like I've gotten this very, very wet. Look how wet this is. Yeah, like it's kind of shiny, right? There we go. And bring this all the way out there to the camera. So that's kind of what we're looking at so far here. And once I kind of get some color tones in on the ship, we're going to be in good shape. I'm going to take another quick break, folks, and I will be right back. We will continue painting on our Friday afternoon, so make sure you tell all the cool kids this is the place to be. So don't go away, everyone. There we go. Actually, let's do it this way so you can actually see that it's a... I will set my stuff. oh, I can put the paintbrush on and make it look like, oh, there we go. If you had that drone, the paint would be dry by now. Exactly. And then you'd hear 3 echoes. Alrighty, here we go. Coming back to it. Very weird having this thing without any kind of music or anything. It's very awkward. But I will say this. This is probably one of the most comfortable setups I have yet had since doing this here in the new location. What I find when I paint is to look past all the streaks and flaws. When you build up the painting, they will go away. I will also look at the flaws and see if I can make them a feature. 100%. Yes, that is the, what was it Bob Ross would say? Happy accidents, right? 100%. Yes. I used to get, like, especially if I was doing something like this kind of a spaceship, right? I would I would get kind of wrapped up in, is it match the design that I wanted, and all of that. And when you get into technical illustration, obviously you want to go down right into the finest detail and make sure it's all good. But yeah, I like the free form. I like correcting. I mean, everything can be corrected. It's paint, so that's the cool part. Just give yourself one of those Apple Music balls to play your music. Yeah, actually, I have some little speakers that wouldn't even be attached to the same system. So yeah, really, basically, the biggest problem is I'm trying to do all of this with a laptop, which is the only like that is currently my primary machine. I'm gonna be screwed if anything happens with that laptop, which is a concern. I need to build a dedicated streaming device just to have all this set up properly. That will solve a lot of these problems, but I can't afford to get a new machine yet. In fact, I'm probably going to end up using my old desktop machine for the cat live stream. That's going to be coming up here pretty soon. As soon as I can get that wired, basically. So yeah, so I'm going to dedicate a PC, and that one's an old machine. That's a 2013. It was starting to struggle before our move, doing all of this, right? In fact, right now with the latest updates, I don't think it'll handle it. And it was really pegged. The system was really pegged to do all of this. By comparison, with this laptop, in spite of the problems that you're seeing, it's barely cracking the CPU or the GPU. It runs very, very smoothly. So the laptop is not a technological limitation at all. If anything, it's overkill. The laptop, if I plugged everything directly in, I probably could have 4 cameras, honestly. What about a base model Mac Mini? Oh yeah, so seriously, Wes, yeah, anything kind of like that. What I'm kind of, yeah, I just haven't like called for donations yet. So the baseline has to have a good GPU. Like, okay, so here's the way I think of it, Wes. If you imagined a top of the line iMac or not an iMac, but like a MacBook Pro from like 2017, 2018, like in that time frame, whatever those stats were, that would be perfect for running this. Or like 20, well, now we're 2025. So a 5-year-old machine that was laying around somebody's house that nobody's using would probably be good if it had a good, again, we're thinking MacBook, right? So or yeah, like a Mac Mini, preferably something that has a lot of USB connections of some kind. Lightning, I guess, if that were the case. But yeah. In fact, I'm gonna keep an eye out for just kind of like junky old machines. Not junky, but like, refurbs, that sort of thing. I might even install Linux on it and get away from Windows and Mac altogether and just do a dedicated, like, basically all the software that I use pretty much runs on Linux, so I can lock it down and just get away from a lot of this stuff with a dedicated machine. At the very least, I'm going to do that as a dedicated drive inside the house here, just to, our dedicated server, if you will. Anyway, that's a lot of that stuff. Apple reverbs are great and pretty cheap. That's a good idea, Wes. In fact, we when we did our bakery, we did a refurb Mac for our point of sale system. It was great. So yeah, very cool. Great ideas. I like our community. Thank you so much. Sorry again, there's no music. I'll get that fixed, I promise. Let's get back to the old art part here. Okay, it's dried a little bit. Yeah, it's still a little tacky, but that's okay. So I want to get some I want to get some color on that spaceship hull here, and I really want something that's kind of warm. The best way for me to do that, I'm going to go back to my raw umber since I've already used the color in here, even though you don't see it. And I'm going to, this is going to be off camera, so bear with me. I'm going to just kind of keep the thing focused here. I'm going to combine that with some white. I'll show you the result in a second. Do I want white or do I want like yellow? Yeah, let's do. I need to lighten it up. I need more of my blue. I used all my blue. Hang tight. If this was a little easier to transport, I would march this back and forth. Okay, so, and the white, yes. No, I didn't want to do white, that's right. Okay, I want some warm tones in the spaceship hull. It's going to help my mind see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of my raw umber, and I'm going to lighten it up with yellow or orange. Actually, I can lighten it up with yellow. Let me get a, I don't want any cadmium, no cadmium, no cadmium. What's a good yellow? Here we go. Let's get a yellow ochre instead. That will be a, ooh, wow, that cap just popped right off. This might be a dead yellow ochre. Oh no, I had a paint malfunction. It's dead. It's dead, Jim. All right, let me get my other yellow ochre then. There we go. All right, I gotta go to the new tube. That cap wasn't there. French's yellow mustard, a little mustard on there. There we go. Just kind of a it is kind of a Dijon color there. Is what that one is. I do have one that's very French's, absolutely. My favorite though is cadmium orange because that like it looks like Velveeta basically. I love it. And take a little bit of our Permasol blue here. So it's kind of a muddy, more, oh, maybe too much. Oh no, I went to green. I'm okay if it goes to green, but I really wanted it kind of, yeah, see, I just mixed a military color by using too much blue. Gosh darn it. This could come in handy. I'm going to save that for later. Let's try that again. All right. More raw umber. There we go. All right. I hate it when that happens. We're going to try that one more time. We're going to get our yellow in there, right? And just a touch of blue. Darn it. Don't go green on me. You're going to go green. I can see it already. You're thinking about it. A little bit more raw for the mix. A little more yellow. I mean, God forbid that I would be so brazen as to mix green or blue and yellow and not expect to get a green, right? No, I want a Chinese food product paint. Yes. Oh, I have to tell. Oh, food, Chinese food. I had this I had this crazy hankering, right, for Hong Kong style chow mein, fried noodles, right? And you know, it's really weird. I used to see these kinds of noodles in the restaurants we would go to back in Michigan because there were, you know, we had a lot of Cantonese, and we had Hong Kong Cantonese families that opened these restaurants. And I found that when I would go to Chinese restaurants, like out on the West Coast, the recipes varied a little bit. So I didn't often get a fried noodle dish like I had remembered. Maybe I just wasn't going to the right restaurants. I don't know. No, I did get it in Victoria with traveling with our friends Scott, Jackie, and their crew way back in the day. But so I wanted to make this dish, and I just randomly found, oh, was it Jeff Tila, I guess, did a video on this traditional version of, you know, it's basically a bed of fried egg noodles that you do all your magic stuff on. And it was fantastic. It was wonderful. I went a little crazy. I looked at a bunch of different ways people do these recipes and settled on one, and then just kind of went for it. I had a fun time, and it very much came out tasting like something you would expect from a Chinese restaurant. I'm very proud of that, actually. Thank you. It was I like that. I like trying to emulate these restaurant foods that I loved so much that I can no longer find. And certainly YouTube is filled with great resources for that sort of thing. If you want to find the old recipes of really anything, it's brilliant. Okay, so I've got my kind of weird green color. And you know, we're gonna run with this. Let me pull it back in, pull it back over so we can kind of see the whole thing here. There we go. I am gonna go kind of this dark because we are on the back side of a planet, right? And I really want this to be this color will give it the gravitas it needs, not gravitas. The hull of these ships, and really any ship, if this was the Enterprise or something, I'd probably go the same way. When you're in shadow zones, I don't know, I like to roll the colors around. It's weird to go a warm color in the shadow zone, but we will be affecting this color. I wanted the base to be a warm color. Not terribly warm, as you can see, we're still kind of muddy. But, there we go. And like you were saying earlier, Happy Sax, I'm not really worried too much about the forms here too much. I'm paying some attention to it. Like I would like to try to preserve this as much as possible, and if I go light, I can kind of see through it. But yeah, actually that's probably a good way to go. Let's do that. I'm just bouncing some color out of my brush here. And I have a thicker round brush, but I'm trying to use it in a way. I'm really learning how to use. Is this a number 9 or number 10? Oh, they call it something different. Never mind. Yeah. So anyway, even though this is coming off as really, really dark on the camera, and I can see that it is, I actually can still see through quite a lot of it. And you do get a color shift when these paints dry. You'll get a I am being a little gentle with this. Maybe I don't need to be. Maybe I can just be like, yeah, let's just do that. Yeah, there we go. All right. Anyway, so the Chinese food, very good. That worked out great. What was I on? I have no idea what I was talking about. Gosh darn it. I am my own worst enemy when it comes to this sort of things. It's just all the caffeine I've had this afternoon is finally kicking in, and my brain is going 1,000 miles an hour, which is really fun, I must say. All right, I'm going to go out here to the science astronomy module. Imagine this is like a gigantic, yeah, it's basically the astronomy wing. If you've ever seen the movie Passengers, they do a really good job with the interior design of the ship in that movie. I know there's controversy regarding the tone of that movie, and it's well deserved. I really think they did a shitty job with the characters and a shitty resolution. In spite of it, it has some amazing scenes and some fantastic designs. Oh my gosh. In fact, I was kind of mad at them because I was like, God damn it. This is kind of what I was envisioning for the inside of my ship, and I've been thinking about this for years, and now everyone's going to think I'm just copying Passengers. So I got a little annoyed. That's all right. We live through these things. We be fine. We would be fine. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and cover all this up just because I kind of don't want any more white in this. Da, 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 da. In fact, I'm going to come in and give a little treatment right here to this section. We're kind of going to see a little bit inside. So there we go. And let's just get some dark out there. You know, really, when it comes to these paintings, I'm kind of like just getting to the fun part, right? Like all of the rest of this, I feel like is just like, all right, let's get this bird on that. If I'd taken more time on it, it'd probably be more fun. But it's all right. We're doing the thing. We're working it. We're working the problem. Bum, 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 bum. Alrighty. Yeah, see, my list shows that we have 12 of you. But I suspect it's actually more than that because my stats over there show it differently, and they're both coming from the same place. This is hilarious. Don't look at the stat. Don't even look at the stats. Don't think of the stats. It doesn't matter. It's all in your head, Chris. There we go. All right. All right, there we go. See, this is gonna definitely, this is gonna definitely need another pass. Like I said, when you let me just, I don't know if I can pull this up. It won't autofocus. You're definitely gonna see the brush strokes until I let this dry and do some more. So I'm gonna probably get it to a state here that I'm happy with, knowing full well that I want to, kind of work it some more, and that's fine. We'll be okay with that. All right, we needed some. Let's see, what kind of nice, bright, shiny, happy people color do we want inside? I think we want a little bit more of my yellow ochre. And yeah, let's just have some fun with this. It is. It's just getting to the fun part. I'm getting excited here, people. You have no idea. Damn, no music. Damn. Okay. I needed to mix up a little color here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to paint in some of this. So we're kind of getting, you're like seeing the ceiling of the interior of the still currently named Copernicus. Yeah, there we go. So that's an interior part right there. The white, again, same thing with gouache, right? The white is very, very opaque, which is really cool because that means I can come in here and go, there's another interior space right through here and right through here. Like these are all public spaces up the food chain a bit. There we go. Oh man, I need another one right up in here. There we go. Now, this isn't actually white. I've actually tinted it slightly with the yellow ochre, and it's going on pretty thin. So it's going to look bright, but I still haven't, like, gotten to as white as the page. That's still a little bit on here. And I haven't gotten as white as the color white straight out of the tube, which is also pretty important. Now, there aren't quite as many people just hanging out and living down here, but you do have some things going on, observation posts, that sort of thing. And then there's, there's probably some right down here too. Yeah, this is sort of the Earth Watch or the Planet Watch station, so I have to have some here. I'm just plotting the places where you'd have like lots of light sources from inside the spacecraft. And we're going to definitely get some down along here. I'm envisioning the side of this looking like a concourse to a contemporary airport, but it's docks, if you will. Hey, Doc. Right? Yeah, docks. Okay. And I never stated this earlier, so forgive me. One of the themes I had for this painting in my head, I like to pick sort of like my what's the goal, if you will, to the paintings would be I was trying to go for a night view, but controlling the tones between light and dark a little better than I typically do. I really want to give this vehicle a sense of scale and but play with the lighting. There was a really great shot in from the Earth to the Moon showing the Apollo capsule configuration coming by the crescent of the moon just as the sun hits. It was really, really lovely. And I thought, oh, kind of looked at it a little bit and went, I can do that. I can totally do that. Okay, there we go. Bum, ba-da, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Yeah, not cheese, food product. Yeah, I just read that properly. Velveeta. Yum. You know, ultimately, it won't kill you. It will help you live in a bind, which is pretty funny. Just the I'm fascinated by food cultures, which is really interesting and kind of like what happens with food. But Velveeta, that's been around for a long. That was like pre-World War II, I think, because I'm pretty certain there's Velveeta in war rations or something similar. There we go. Now I'm going to get some paint out of my brush because I want a nice tiny brush. There are also there are windows outside the side on this side, so I'm going to try to make these much smaller. Actually, there's some in here too. It's a big ship. It's a large ship. There we go. All right. Let me see if I can start in on some hint of the sun here too. Oh, I'd have to clean my brush. Clean my brush, he says. There we go. So I want the sun to kind of be up over here. And then we're gonna get some of this. It's dried just enough where I can actually do this as kind of a glaze now, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to take advantage of that. Boom, 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 boom. Where'd my brighter yellow go? Actually, I could probably get some orange in there too. Now that's still in there, couldn't I? Yeah, let's get some orange in. Oh, I don't think I did a good job. Let me make sure I've got my arc doing pretty okay. Not quite. Okay, cool. Well, we can correct that. I did. I made a mistake. I made a grave error in my arc. It's gonna throw off the whole painting. No, we're all right. See, starting to get the orange, starting to get the worms in. There we go. I'm back to Velveeta cheese paint. Okay, I think I can. Gosh, I keep getting my brushes all over the place. So this is a problem for me. I am always doing crazy stuff with the brushes. Yeah, I think just doing it effectively this way. That's the good way to do it. If I'm not careful, I'm going to make it look like an explosion, and that's not what I want at all. It's not a bomb going off. It's a pretty sunset. There's a difference. Please, pretty sunset, right? That's what we're going for. That's the whole thing. There we go. Yeah. Although I did it backwards. Isn't it supposed to be on here? Yes. Yes. It's supposed to be back over here. It's all right. We can make this work. Darn it! I did the sunset backwards, but that's okay. We still have some other bits to do on there, so we're okay. We'll make this work. Like all of those clouds that you see in there, those are definitely of the happy accident variety for sure. There we go. All right. We'll just work the next level so that I can get my way to the middle of the color, and we'll be okay. All right, cool. To correct the orange out here, we just come in with the yellow, and then make it worse. Ooh, not making it. We're making it better. I'm gonna come in on this, getting my arm at an angle again. Oop, need more paint. Whoop, one more water. There we go. I'm not sure if this is working for me yet. I'm not quite there yet. It's not selling me on it yet. All right. But the colors that I'm putting down are the ones that I kind of need. So I will circle back to it when I need to. Let's just see what happens when I do what the final thing was I was going to do, which is drop in a bunch of white right at this point right here, because that is where the sun's coming over the horizon. I do think I got the effect backwards, which is unfortunate, but I'm going to try to make it work anyway, and we're just going to go for it. So we need a little sun here peeking around the planet. And that's what that is. Okay. Ah, no, it didn't do that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that part. Okay, well, get more back in. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Um, All right. Well, you know, we're getting the effect. Actually, I kind of like doing it this way because once this stuff kind of dries, we'll be able to come in and I'll be able to come in and work some of it. But let's since I've got the colors and they're working, let me just kind of like take this to where I felt it needed to go so you can see the full effect. So I wanted to kind of come in on the ship now. This is a little wet. Hang on a sec. I'm going to move some things. Bear with me. I know off camera I'm messing with stuff. Sorry. All right. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Hmm. Here we go. So we got the sun coming out here, the sun, whatever sun is at this planet, and it's gonna be shining around the corner of the planet and catching the edge of the ship hull. Right along here. That's what we wanted it to do. We want this to happen like this. And of course along here. Catching the tops of this superstructure as it's going forward, and maybe even the front end of the supports to this. Oh, I just put my finger on it. I just painted that. Can you believe that? What the heck? My own worst enemy, I tell ya. The old masters would be very upset with you for doing that. That's all right. We'll do that. All right. Yeah, well, the old masters weren't live streaming, so screw those guys. No, I'm kidding. And the structure is actually taller than it is wide. So what you're really it's really kind of narrow. Yeah, think of this whole thing as the width of a maybe your average ocean-going cruise ship. Just this part is probably the width. Well, if you were to turn it sideways, probably the width of a cruise ship. That's where it's going in my mind, anyway. So, all right. We'll brush for a bit more. All right. And then same thing up here. We'll get some direct line, right? So we'll be like kind of like that. That bing ba dum bum 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 ba da da. Would you get some down below? Yeah, I think you'd probably get some down here. So like this, right? A little bit of that. Probably not so much on that side because there's actually a gap in the front of this. That's where sort of everyone lands, I guess you could say. You know, the landing deck sort of thing. In fact, let me kind of get that in there. Some hint of that is necessary. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This front face here is actually open to space in several places. So what you would actually be able to see would be a very thin view inside of that hangar deck, but it's really hard to depict here other than, yeah, I'm kind of there. You really wouldn't see much of it. You would get a hint of it, right? Because there would be gantries and stuff sticking out and things like that, but for the most part, you wouldn't really see it. Oh, except where there's places they would launch vessels from on the side. I do remember I have to have some of those. All right, so we're gonna give this a big blob. That's what we're gonna give it. There we go. Apparently, that's what I was intending to do. Went on way too fast. So this is kind of like a view into that bay, if you will, because it's open inside and lit like a Costco warehouse would be the best way to describe it. Right. Okay. This is kind of all right. Let me my gut makes me I want to come in and work out some of these details with darker colors, but I that's not the way to go. What I need to do is finish this little hint of rendering on here that I'm doing so I can kind of get this to a point. So I'm going to continue with that. We started with the orange highlights, right? So now I have to get these really big glints. Well, actually, is that dry enough yet? No. After I do the yellow here, the yellow pass, I'll come back in and brighten this up so we can maybe more plainly see that's like a, sun. It's going to be hitting about right here. It's going to be the. So I'm basically drawing the, trying to figure out where the highlight is going to be, and it's basically going to be right along here, really thick towards the middle. We'll have a little hint of this. There we go. And right along here, we'll get a lot of highlighting, and you'll see hints of the hull pattern, that sort of thing. Anything going on with it. In fact, I'll even put some indication of that in here right now. Just little doohickeys and bits. If you ever saw the movie Sunshine, I love the heat shield that they have on that ship in Sunshine. And it just started occurring to me that if this ship is going to basically be a out in space for as long as it was going to be, going to different worlds, yada yada, all that sort of thing, they probably need to be pretty robust on the order of that kind of shielding. So I thought, well, maybe we'll do some shielding passes on this design and see what happens, right? Because you don't want to get all the way to another star system and have your whole crew die of radiation poisoning. I mean, that would be tragic. Or do the thing that Kim Stanley Robinson did in Aurora? We got all the way there and we turned and came home. No. I have a love-hate relationship with the book Aurora. I think it's one of the coolest books in a long time, dealing with the issues of traveling to another star system. And finding like an absolutely impossible problem at the other end. I think that's genius. I love it. I don't have an answer for it either. So those of you looking for me to answer that question, I don't have. It ain't happening. It won't be happening. No. No, sir. Not at all. Not from me. All right, let's get the little bit of color going inside of here so that it's not just all like, all of that. Get a little bit of my yellow in there. There we are. Yeah. I'm actually liking this painting quite a lot. Not that, sometimes, it's always a mixed bag, right? You do a painting and you're not sure if you like the painting, right? It's not like children. With children, you're gonna like your children. If you don't, what the hell's wrong with you? Yes, like your children, for God's sakes. You're gonna like your children. Mostly. No. Getting no, that's terrible. No, no, with paintings, you just don't know. It's gonna be like, okay, yeah, well, maybe it's gonna be okay. Maybe it's gonna be shite. I don't know. We're hoping okay. Yes, we're hoping okay is where we're gonna be going with this, and we'll get a little bit of a tinge down there. I'm gonna wander away now. Take care, Rhonda. Thanks for joining today. I really appreciate it. It was good seeing everybody again, and you as well. Take care. We'll chat with you soon, okay? You want me to do the stars for you before you leave? I was gonna do stars just for Rhonda. All right, yes, sun. I just wanted the bright star. Bum, 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 da, da, dun, dun, da, da, dun, 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 dun. I think it's the longest I've been live streaming in a long time, by the way. I don't usually go this long. I didn't realize how late we were. Well, I did have the late start, right? I had the crazy late start with um yeah, all of that. all of the sound issues, right? So, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is actually turning out to be kind of fun. But yeah, I might just bring it to a point here and call it because I kind of want to evaluate this one before I go too far. Anyhow, and I haven't even touched the engine side of things yet. Let me at least get in some of the shapes in there that I need. This is a good one. That's a good color. We'll do that. Kind of in our wavelength down here anyway. Yes. Oop. Dude, once this paint starts setting up too, it's like, oh no, I'm almost to a point where I need to remix colors. It's really annoying. Yeah, I did want. That's right. I've got to get this little edge. So we're kind of looking at like a cutaway of the edge of the hull. I did not yet incorporate the side pod because it would cover everything up that we're looking at. So yeah, there we go. We're gonna use our imagination here at this stage of the painting. Maybe I could digitally put this one in later. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it? Digitally add a piece of my own painting to itself. Alrighty. But thank you everyone for sticking around with me today, in spite of the sound issues and all of that other stuff and no music. I'll get there. I appreciate the help. Everyone was super cool, helping me with all of kind of working through that, and we'll get it better. It'll get better. I'm certain, right? Yeah, kind of bringing these shapes and colors back in is kind of nice, actually. All righty. So far as an evaluation of the design and the shape, I'm having a good time with this. So, yeah. Let me see if I can brighten up the day here a little bit on the front end. Pushing and pulling darks and lights here. You know, playing off of happy accidents where they occur. Need a darker dark on this one. Yeah, we're gonna go right into the black I'm afraid. But that's okay. This will give us a nicer, sharper contrast. So there we go. I'm going to give it some hint of things going on inside. There's not going to be much. I just want a few dots of detail and maybe just a couple of bits along in here, just to indicate things that are happening and people and places and that sort of thing. There we go. All right. This needs to all be darker than it is. Okay, I can just tell I'm getting tired. All right. Well, I think I'm actually to a point that I would like to kind of wrap this up. So I am not going to sign it tonight. I will put a little I'll put a little mark down here at the bottom. I won't do the full signature, but I will do a little mark because I'm going to come back to it, right? There we go. Do my little planet signature, and I'm gonna let this dry, and I'll either pick this up on our. I think on our next one, I'm gonna do a totally different new painting. So, but I will pick this up again, and I will definitely leave updates. So, all right. I would consider this about what this is like a 2-hour start on the painting here. 2 hours give or take, right? So maybe just a little bit more, a little bit less. We had about an hour's worth of messing around, but so here's where we're ending up. And you know, a little different camera. It's going to give a little different perception of it. Let me see if I can hold it up straight. There we go. And if I turn it this way, not so, there we are. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have a planet coming around the backs or the planet. You're seeing the night side of it with the sun peeking out, and we have the ship sort of coming around it. I'm gonna definitely add. There's a lot more details I do want to add to the ship itself. It's kind of generalized right now, but I feel like it's. I feel like this is a good. It is a little dark. That's. I can't tell which one's closer to the actual painting. You're getting kind of a view from two. This camera is definitely the better camera of the two, so you're certainly going to be seeing the colors better. Alrighty. I think that's going to do it for me this week, everybody. Hang on a second. There it goes. Yeah, it's coming back up. Boy, everything's being weird. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today on this live stream. I appreciate it. We will definitely be back. So if you do like the stream, go ahead and hit the like button. I really appreciate it. It goes a long way to helping with the channel. And, I will see you next time, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next week. Cheers. Where's my outro? I will do the outro. Yay, leaving.
All right, so I've taken my white paint with my little fan brush here, and let's just see how crazy this goes. This is where I throw paint everywhere. That just kind of gives it an air of legitimacy that it doesn't deserve. You know?
I have Bob Ross the shit out of this painting.